Alright, so we've got Genshin Impact with its high fantasy environment. We've got Honkai Star Rail and its cosmic monorail. And now Hoyoverse is back at it again, asking for your time, probably your wallet, and maybe a little bit of your emotional stability with their new one, Zenless Zone Zero. It may not be, everyone's cup of tea, but I really do enjoy it. Zenless Zone Zero, or ZZZ, because typing that full name makes my wrist cry and my voice feel bad. It's Hoyoverse's take on an urban action RPG. It's got combat, cool music, and stylish characters, and an economy built entirely on vibes and trauma. First, let's talk about the world. Alright, so it's set in a city called New Eridu, the last city on Earth, which honestly sounds like something Elon Musk would tweet about one bad year. The world is full of these weird dimensions, I guess you could call them pocket dimensions, called hollows, where people go to fight monsters, earn money, and get smacked in the face by weird tentacle things because, Hoyoverse. Every trip into the hollow feels like a fever dream mixed with a nightclub, enemies everywhere, neon lights, and your character yelling about their traumas while the bass drops. But let's be honest here. All of the combat and all of the things aren't all set in New Eridu, if we're gonna be honest here. It's set in a bunch of different places. As of right now, there's a lot of different subsections of New Eridu that you can go into, and then even part of outside of New Eridu that you can go into, called the Outer Ring, where there is a colorful cast of people and a bunch of biker gangs trying to fight for the throne of Overlord. And generally, every single environment in this place feels pretty much different until you start getting into the hollows and the hollow rating. Those feel very samey, but I mean, like, it's pocket dimensions, Sometimes they can look really cool, sometimes they can look pretty similar. And when you go into specific ones, they always have a unique theme and kind of I don't want to say a hassle to, like, understand what each thing is supposed to being or doing. But hey, I mean, like, it works. Alright, so let's talk about the important part of the main game. Because let me tell you, if I play any more Stake, I'm going to go crazy. Combat in the Zone Zero is flashy, fast, and feels like you're directing a K-pop concert during an alien invasion. And I don't mean that in any negative way. I do mean that in a absolute banger of a way. It's energetic, it's high energy. You swap between characters, chain attacks, dodge like your life depends on it because it does, and unleash ultimates that are so dramatic that they could win an Oscar themselves. And if you're like me and you miss your dodge, don't worry. You'll just end up watching your favorite character get scrambled like an omelet. I mean, come on now. But the combat does have its weak points, is what I would say. Even though every character feels slightly different, there are certain characters that feel just like reskins of other characters. As of right now, just slight reskins, I would say. It's not too bad because they do have all different weapons that feel completely different, but they do have like similar mechanics that then bounce off each other and make it seem like, oh, it's better just to have this other version of said character. I'll talk more about that later on once we get to the specific characters and things that I enjoy about them. The combat's pretty in-depth when it gets down to it. Certain anomalies cause different things, such as shocking the person, making them take extra electric damage, burning things, physical, doing a shit ton of damage all in one go. You could always also say, and then there being a bonus, I would say, disorder called disorder, where if you do shock and then you do burn, they then get disordered, which makes everything just hurt a bit more. Alright, so let's not just talk about his abnormally big pecs. Let's use that as a segue into the characters. So, joke sides, the characters are genuinely amazing. Everyone looks pretty cool, I can't say, even though they all look like they shop at the same place. We've got skinny men, big men, mysterious girls, chaotic energy, gremlins, you know who I'm talking about, and all the gooner bait you could ever really want. And yet, it's still never going to be enough. They're not just eye candy either, though. Each one has a distinct playstyle, personality, and backstory that makes the world feel really alive. They really said that you're going to think about these characters and you're going to love them. So, the characters themselves usually fit into a bunch of different categories, such as, their types, their rankings, and all that stuff. But they also have their faction that they, roll with, which is usually like Victoria Housekeeping, Cunning Hairs, The Spook Shack, Belbog Heavy Industries, Hollow Special Operations Section 6, Stars of Lyra, Sons of Caldeon, and I think Mockingbird is also one. Can't really remember too many more. Oh, and the Yunkoi Summit. I would probably be forgetting one. I probably am. Oh yeah. Oval Squad. Oval Squad's one. And then the normal PubSec people, the Criminal Investigation Special Response Team. You know, cops. I don't really, understand that one. But hey, it is what it is. It makes me feel for the cops even in this own weird game. But every single faction seems to have its own theme that they kind of fit with. Victoria Housekeeping kind of has like a old school horror theme. They had one of the best sub-stories that I've seen. Then you then have Spook Shack, who I would say are pretty newish to the game. Not like super new, but like kind of new. I enjoy their theme. It seems to be just kind of like a bunch of people who are misfits that got together. Same thing with the Cunning Hairs. The Cunning Hairs, though, they are the true group of like, where did you come from? Oh, I don't know. Does it matter? No. Okay. And you have the Sons of Caldeon, who are like Mad Max, because they're a biker gang in the Outer Ring. And they have some of the funniest interactions that I've seen in the game. Especially when they're interacting with the protagonist character, either Bella or Wise, depending on who you chose to play as. So, we're going to get down to the real nitty-gritty here, though. Alright, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about Gacha. Because it's a Hoyoverse game, you knew this was coming. You pull for every character, you can get duplicates, you pull for weapons, you pull for... I think that's about it. Oh, you also pull for things to upgrade the characters, specifically like equipment. The weapons, sometimes I don't want to pull any of them because I already have enough for what I want, but it still happens. And if you use the default pull system, you can get anything and everything under the sun. You pull for bang boos, which are just cute little robot things that just kind of help you along the way, that you use as your proxy when you're acting as a proxy. But let's be down to it. It's an RNG game. You sometimes get S ranks, you sometimes get A ranks. There's nothing better than an S rank as of now. And most of the time, you'll just get disappointed though. A random W engine, which is the weapons you didn't want, and a mild gambling addiction will, start to develop. Do I want to specifically get another Ben Bigger instead of a S rank? Yes, I do. But that's because I have a lot of problems and I like specific characters. But honestly, it's not that bad. As a free-to-play player, I've made it through a lot of the story content up to the current releases, most challenge content, and even scored S ranks on a bunch of the different missions. It's not like I think they're extremely hard to do, and a lot of the times, depending on if it's a story mission or not, they let you use very specific characters that are relevant to the story. There'll be trial agents where you just don't have to do anything, but not suck at the game to win with them. And if you're patient enough, the game rewards you with enough free pulls to stay, and I use this term loosely, slightly competitive when it comes down to everything, without having to sell your soul or destroy your credit score. Because there's no real competitive nature besides scoreboard, trying to get a high score, because the multiplayer aspect of this game isn't really there yet. I feel like there's a lot more things that you could do with this multiplayer aspect, the same way they do with Wuthering Waves, Genshin Impact, and that likes. I've found very few things to really do with my friends besides Arcade Machine, and that's like where I can guarantee I'll play with him. But hey, I don't mind it. The gacha's not too bad, and I'm a free-to-play player, so take my word at whatever you want. It's not really that important to me. So now let's talk about the part that really is important to me as a player, not you, me. Let's talk about the music and the style. So one of the things that's absolutely slaps in Zenless Zone Zero is the music and its overall stylish look. It's stylish, it's punchy, and it fits perfectly with the urban vibe that they were going for, specifically in the city. And even whenever you're laid back in the Outer Rings, you still get some good vibes that give you an old Western type vibe. Every track when you're in combat sounds like something you'd hear in a cyberpunk cafe at 3 a.m., and it just makes every fight feel a lot cooler. Combine that with the current art that I love, the UI design, the smooth animations on every single character when you just do anything, and you've got yourself a game that just oozes pizzazz. And I say pizzazz because, like, it's not just style, it's the extra that goes beyond. It's that Broadway feel that you get when you're like, man, that was cool. You know, whenever you're trying to be the coolest person ever, you're just aura farming in all of these fights, if you're doing them well at least. So the style just really shines through. Each character having distinct animations, and I mean that. Like, every character seems to run slightly differently, every character dodges differently, every character has different weapons, and how they move can seem similar to other characters, but it has their own unique style and grace. So overall, the game has more style than, most other games currently on the market, so take that what you will.
It can't end like this!
Let's be very frank here, okay? So, one of the things that we gotta realize is I get off topic, I get off track quite a lot. I really do enjoy this game. This is more of a let me finally get my thoughts all in order, because I definitely didn't pay attention to them, but I should have. But when it comes to the overall gameplay, I like it. It has a lot of things that I can enjoy, it has a lot of things that I don't enjoy. Some characters feel similar, some don't, as I said before. The character arcs have been one of the more amazing things that I've seen in this game. The music itself is something of beauty. I love music in games, and all of the music has been absolutely a banger when it comes down to it. I don't think there's many tracks that I skip or any track that I specifically mute, but that could also just be I've only heard the good ones so far, because there's just so much of it. Everything has music, everything has its own theme, but that's not even all. Every character seems to have, like, I don't want to call it their theme, but it has like a sound that kind of plays with them. Every character seems to build off of each other, their specific sound effects when they're hitting things. It's all just kind of amazing. The character arcs have been kind of weird when it comes down to it, because there are definitely some that are just a little bit too fan servicey towards the main character, but if you like that kind of thing, you would like that kind of thing. I just don't specifically like that, but I do feel like these could be actual people that I would be friends with. The only other thing that I can really say about this game is it's really enjoyable, and this part of the video is just for the people that really want to know what's going on here. It's beautiful, it plays well when it plays. The arcade games are amazing. I enjoy playing the arcade games with my friends. If I had to compare this to any other game like that, I would say Yakuza. There's always something to do. There's so much side content. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not Yakuza yet, but it definitely does have the makings of a bunch of side content that I can never get tired of. Well, back to the original video.
So let me steal this from one of my favorite creators. So, should you play Zenless Zone Zero? Well, if you like flashy combat, stylish characters, and stories about capitalism, trauma, and neon lights, absolutely. If you're looking for something more chill or story heavy like Star Rail, probably go there. But if you just want the punch monsters vibe to great music and occasionally simp for fictional people, then welcome to New Eridu, baby. And just try to not get folded. I won't. But thanks for watching so much. And if you enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe, do all that jazz that they always tell you to do. Tell me who your favorite character is down below, because I actually do want to know. And you know what? Stay classy and keep it a little bit sassy. And may the gacha gods bless your next pull. Bye bye.